Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, Text 21. Maitreya Vachan.
Maitreya Vachan.
Evam Brahmanam Purushartha Bhajanam.
Evam Brahmanam Purushartha Bhajanam.
Janardanam Pranjalaya Pracetasaha.
Janardanam Pranjalaya Pracetasaha.
Tadarshanadvasta Tamorajo Mala.
Tadarsanadvishtatamora
Gira Grinangad Kadaya Suhritamam.
Gira Grinangad Kadaya Suhritamam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya said, after the personality of Godhead spoke thus, the Pracetās began to offer him prayers. The Lord is the bestower of all success in life and is the supreme benefactor. He is also the supreme friend who takes away all miserable conditions experienced by a devotee. In a faltering voice, due to ecstasy, the Pracetās began to offer prayers. They were purified by the presence of the Lord, who was before them face to face. The Lord is herein described as Purushartha Bhajanam, the bestower of the ultimate goal of life. Whatever success we want in life can be attained by the mercy of the Lord. You know, we are taught in modern education that yes, you can do it, yes, you can do it. Yes, we have to put the effort. Yes, effort is ours. But whatever we gain is by the mercy of the Lord. So since the Pracetās had already attained the Lord's mercy, they were no longer subject to the contamination of the material modes. So they are liberated. No more contamination of the material modes means even though they are inside a material body, they are liberated. The material modes dissipated from them just as the darkness of night immediately dissipates when the sun rises. Like it's dark, then as soon as the sun comes up, we can see everything so clearly. When it's dark, we can't see anything. We can't see anything around us. We can't see our body. When the sun comes up, everything becomes clear. We can see ourselves. We can see everything around us. That's similarly. Here, whenever one becomes Krishna conscious, then he can see everything. Krishna aya Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakar. Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Ra Adhikar. This verse comes in Caitaniya Caritamita. Like it says, Krishna is like the sun, Maya is like darkness. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no Maya. Because the Lord appeared before them, naturally, all the contaminations of the material qualities of Rajas and Tamas completely disappeared. Similarly, when an unalloyed devotee chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is also purified of all material contamination because the name of the Lord and the Lord are identical. So Prabhupada is saying that the Lord appeared in front of Pracetās, and so now whatever traces of Rajas Tamas they had all went away. So they are liberated, completely purified. They're situated on the pure platform. Similarly, when one chants the pure holy name, then he is also purified of all contamination. Why? Because the Lord himself and the name, they are non-different. The Lord, his name, his paraphernalia, his pastimes, his qualities are all identical. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17, Shanvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridi Antastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So, when one hears about Krishna, hears Krishna's holy name, hears Krishna's leelas, pastimes, hears Krishna's glories, then what happens? Krishna, who is the Paramatma in our heart, he cleans our heart. He cleans our heart of all the contamination, of all the what do we say? The material desires. The holy name of the Lord is the Lord himself. If one chants and hears, he becomes purified. Gradually, all material contamination disappears. So we can hearing about Krishna, hearing his holy name, like now we are hearing from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Gradually, all the traces, all the effects of modes of passion, ignorance, and even goodness, gradually, it goes away. The Pracetās were already purified due to the Lord's presence before them, and they could therefore offer the proper prayers with folded hands. In other words, as soon as devotees are engaged in devotional service, they become transcendental to all material contamination immediately, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Sagunan Samatityayitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Sometimes the devotees are dissatisfied due to their not seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally. When the Pracetās saw the Supreme Lord personally present, their unhappiness vanished. So the devotee, he wants to see Krishna, he wants to be with Krishna, just as the lover and the beloved. No? The lover always wants to be with the beloved. So the pure devotee, he loves Krishna, he always wants to be with Krishna. And here, Prabhupada is saying that when the devotee is engaged in devotional service, they become purified of all the material desires, of all the desires to imitate God or to become God. All those desires are cleaned away from the heart then. So when the Pracetās saw the Supreme Lord personally present, their unhappiness vanished. Pracetasa Ucca.
Pracetasa
Pracetasa Ucca.
Namo Nama Klesha Vinashanaya.
Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya.
Uccaya.
Nirupito Dara Gunaha Vayaya.
Niropito Dara Guna Vayaya.
Vacaya.
Mano Vacho Vega Puro Javaya.
Mano Vacho Vega Puro Javaya.
Sarvaksha Marger Agatad Vane Namaha.
Sarvaksha Marge Agatattvane Namaha.
The Pracetās spoke as follows: Dear Lord, you relieve all kinds of material distress. Your magnanimous transcendental qualities and holy name are all auspicious. This conclusion is already settled. You can go faster than the speed of mind and words. You cannot be perceived by material senses. We therefore offer you respectful obeisances again and again. The word nirupita, meaning concluded, is very significant in this verse. No one has to conduct research work to find God or make progress in spiritual knowledge. Everything is conclusively there in the Vedas. We don't have to make up anything. We don't have to discover anything. It's all there. All the knowledge is given to us in the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everything is there. Who is God, where he lives, what he does, what he likes, what he doesn't like, everything is there. conclusively. Therefore, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedascha sarver aham eva vedya, understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the process of the Vedas is perfect and conclusive. So if one says that one has understood the Vedas, means one has come to the conclusion of surrender to God. Because that is what is the Vedas are trying to tell us. The Vedas state, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavat grayam indriye, the transcendental names, forms, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord cannot be understood by our blunt material senses. Sevan mukhe hi jivado swayam eva sfuratiyada. When a devotee engages his senses favorably in devotional service, the Lord, through his causeless mercy, reveals himself to the devotee. This is the conclusive Vedic process. So we can try to understand a very crude example. We cannot even see the bacteria flying in front of us. We need a suitable lens to see them. When we get a suitable lens, we can see, oh my God, there are so many bacteria here. Similarly, God, He is on the transcendental platform. Right now, our senses are all covered by matter. Our senses, we have this material eyes, ears, nose. We are not able to understand the Lord. We are not able to understand His name, form, pastimes, paraphernalia. So how to understand? Sevan mukhehi jivado swayam eva smritiyada. Engaging the senses in the devotional service. And devotional service begins with the tongue, chanting the holy name. Yes, Sevan mukhehi jivado. Engaging the tongue in the chanting of chanting the glories of the Lord, names of the Lord, having Krishna Prasad. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyamam abhijanati, I can be known only by devotional service. So this is the conclusive Vedic process. So it's, so the devotee may say, okay, I'm engaging in devotional service. So then he may demand to the Lord, okay, I engage in devotional service. I can't see you. What happened? Here we see the Lord, through his causeless mercy, reveals himself to the devotee. So when the Lord is pleased, he will reveal himself. We cannot order the Lord, So when he's pleased, he showers his mercy and he reveals himself accordingly. The Vedas also indicate that simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, one can, without a doubt, become spiritually advanced. So without a doubt, one may say, oh, I'm chanting, but suppose I don't get purified. Suppose I don't get the spiritual perfection. Suppose I don't get liberation. But the Vedas are saying, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyatha. Repeat it 3 times. No other way, no other way, no other way. Because we may have a doubt that, oh, chanting of the holy name may not work. But the Vedas are repeating, there is no other way, no other way, no other way. We cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the speed of mind or words. But if we stick to devotional service, we can easily and quickly approach Him. In other words, the Supreme Lord is attracted by devotional service, and He can approach us more swiftly than we can approach Him with our mental speculation. Even in our relationships, we have a relationship with someone, we serve them, and then we endear ourselves to them. We can't demand someone, hey, you need to love me, you need to, we can't demand that. But when we serve someone, we endear ourselves to them. The same way, we have a relationship with God. He's a person. So when we engage in His service, then we endear ourselves to Him. Anyway, we always dear to Krishna. He loves us unconditionally at all times. But then He is pleased to reveal Himself to us. So in other words, the Supreme Lord is attracted by devotional service, and he can approach us more swiftly than we can approach him with our mental speculation. With our mental speculation, we will just be on the mental platform. Or maybe it's like this, maybe it's like that. But if we want the guarantee, the sure shot approach, I'm gonna establish my relationship with God, we engage in devotional service. Because that's the process which is given to us. We don't need to create anything new. It's all there. The Lord has stated that although He is beyond the range of mental speculation and the speed of thought, He can be approached easily by His causeless mercy. Thus, only by His causeless mercy can He be attained. Other methods will not be effective. So, causeless mercy. We need Krishna's mercy. And how to attract His mercy? Engage in devotional service to attract His mercy. Mental speculation, by mental speculation, we can't attract Krishna's mercy. Sudhaya Shantaya Nama Swanishtaya.
Shuddhaya Santaya Namastanishaya
Manasya Parthamila Sadvaya.
Manasi Apartham Vilasadvayaya
Namo Jagatsthandayodayeshu.
Namo Jagatsthanalayo
Grihitamaya Gunavigrahaya.
Grihitamaya Gunavigrahaya.
Dear Lord, we beg to offer our obeisances unto you. When the mind is fixed upon you, the world of duality, although a place for material enjoyment, appears meaningless. Your transcendental form is full of transcendental bliss. We therefore offer our respects unto you. Your appearances as Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva are meant for the purpose of creating, maintaining, and annihilating this cosmic manifestation. A pure devotee whose mind is always engaged in the service of the Lord can certainly appreciate the impermanence of this material world. Although such a devotee may be engaged in executing material activities, this stage is called anasakti. As explained by Srila Rupa Goswami, anasaktasya vishaya yatharham upayunjata. A devotee is always unattached to material activities because in the liberated stage, his mind is always fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. So a pure devotee, his consciousness, he's Krishna conscious. So everything that he's doing is for the pleasure of Krishna. To us, it may seem a material duty, To us, it may seem, oh, he's going to wash his car. But the pure devotee, he may be thinking, oh, he needs to keep his car clean because he has to go for Harinam. He has to take the devotees to Harinam. So all that is for pleasure of Krishna. So anasaktasya, anasakti. This is unattached. He's not attached for his sense gratification, but he's doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. This material world is called Vaita, the world of duality. A devotee knows very well that everything within this material world is but a manifestation of the Supreme Lord's energy. So, we look around everything and we say, oh, how I can enjoy. Oh, look, this is for my enjoyment. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this and I'm going to enjoy that. Oh, there's so much variety and it's all for me. But a devotee, when he looks, he sees everything as Krishna's energy. He's seeing the birds flying. He's saying, these birds, these are souls, and they're inside a material body which can fly. And the soul and the material body both belong to Krishna. So to maintain the three modes of material nature, the Supreme Lord takes on different forms as Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. Unaffected by the modes of material nature, the Lord takes on different forms to create, maintain, and annihilate this cosmic manifestation. The conclusion is that although the pure devotee appears to engage in material activities in the service of the Lord, he knows very well that material enjoyment for sense gratification has no use whatsoever. So he's attached. He's completely happy in his relationship with Krishna. He's completely happy engaging in service to Krishna. Just like, when somebody gets a higher taste, you like to have mithai made of ghee, then you don't like the mithai made of oil anymore. Something like that. So the pure devotee is relishing enjoyment. Every soul needs enjoyment. We are anandamaya vyasa. We are pleasure seeking. We always want to be happy. And the devotee is experiencing highest happiness in devotional service. That's why he doesn't care for the material happiness, material enjoyment. Did anyone want to add anything or any questions? Namo Vishuddha Sattvaya.
Namo Shuddha Sattvaya.
Haraye Harimedase.
Hare Harimetase.
Vasudevaya Krishnaya.
Vasudevaya Krishnaya.
Prabhave Sarvasatvatam.
Prabhave Sarvasattvatam.
Dear Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you because your existence is completely independent of all material influences. Your Lordship always takes away the devotee's miserable conditions, for your brain plans how to do so. You live everywhere as Paramatma, therefore you are known as Vasudev. You also accept Vasudev as your father, and you are celebrated by the name Krishna. You are so kind that you always increase the influence of all kinds of devotees. In the previous verse, it has been said, Grihita Maya Guna Vigrahaya. That the Lord accepts three kinds of bodies, Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, for the purposes of creating, maintaining, and annihilating the cosmic manifestation. So we say the Guna avatars, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. They're also coming from Krishna. Why? For the purpose of this, creating this material world, maintaining it, and annihilating it. The three predominating deities of the material universe, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are called Guna avatars. There are many kinds of incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the first incarnations within this material world are Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, Shiva. Out of these three, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva accept material bodies. But Lord Vishnu does not accept a material body. Lord Vishnu is therefore known as Vishuddha Sattva. So even though Lord Vishnu enters into the material world, he does not get a material body. And that's why he is never under the control of the modes of nature. So how to explain that a president may enter the prison, but he's entering the prison out of his own free will. He's just come to see the prisoners. The prisoners have to wear the prison uniform. The prisoners are subject to the laws of the prison, but the president can come and go as he likes. So similarly, Krishna, he enters the material world. He enters it sometimes as himself or sometimes in his various expansions as Lord Vishnu, Lord Ramachandra, but never, none of them have a material body. All their forms are transcendental. So Lord Vishnu is therefore known as Vishuddha Sattva. His existence is completely free from the contamination of the three modes of nature. One should therefore not think that Lord Vishnu is in the same category with Lord Brahma and Shiva. So because some may say that, oh, it's same to same, they're all equal. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu are the same. No, they're not the same. it's an offense actually. It's a second offense to the holy name to think that Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are equal to Lord Vishnu. The Shastras forbid us to think in this way. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devate Samatveneva Vikshita Sapasandi Bhavidruvam. One who considers Lord Vishnu to be in the same category with Devas like Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, or who thinks Lord Brahma and Shiva to be equal to Lord Vishnu, is to be considered as Pasandi, a faithless non-believer. Because God, He is supreme. There is no one equal to or greater than God. That's what we have to understand. So if one says that Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva are equal to Krishna, then it's like covered atheism. Because then we are not able to understand the supreme position of God. God is one without a second. Therefore, in this verse, Lord Vishnu is distinguished in the words Namo Vishuddha Sattvaya. Although a living entity like us, Lord Brahma is exalted due to his pious activities. Therefore, he is given the high post of Brahma. How do we understand Lord Brahma's position and his so is Lord Brahma a living entity?
Yes, Lord Brahma is a living entity, but
Yeah.
he is much higher. Yeah.
So is Lord Brahma, can anyone become Lord Brahma?
Anyone can become, yes.
Yes, thank you. Provided they have the qualification. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. So Lord Shiva is not actually like a living entity, but he is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His position is somewhere between Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Brahma, the living entity. So Lord Shiva, he's a tattva by himself. His position is unique. He's not a living entity, but he's not God either. He's in between. Lord Shiva is therefore explained in Brahma Samhita 545 in this way. Shiram yatha dahi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tata prathak asti heto yash shambhudam api tatha samupaiti karya govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. Lord Shiva is considered to be like yogurt. The yogurt is nothing but transformed milk. Nonetheless, yogurt cannot be accepted as milk. So can we make yogurt out of milk?
Yes, you can make yogurt out of milk.
Now we have yogurt. Can we make this yogurt into milk?
No, you can't make the
That's
yogurt
fine.
into milk.
Yeah, so this is Lord Shiva's position. So although Lord Shiva he's coming from Krishna, he's an expansion of Lord Vishnu. But once he's become Shiva Tattva, he cannot become Vishnu Tattva again. So similarly, Lord Shiva holds almost all the powers of Lord Vishnu, and he's also above the qualities of the living entity. But he's not exactly like Vishnu. Just as yogurt, although transformed milk, is not exactly like milk. So how many qualities does Lord Brahma have? Does anyone remember?
Is it 84?
It is 50 qualities.
50.
50 qualities. So it's like 78% of God's qualities. Any perfect living entity can get. Any jiva can get. And Lord Shiva?
Lord Shiva is actually, Lord Shiva is 54 qualities,
55.
84%.
55.
50, 84%.
55 qualities. So,
which is 84%.
which is 84%. Yeah, you can say that. Yes. So Lord Shiva has 55 and Lord Vishnu?
60 qualities, which is
60.
93%. Yeah.
Yeah. And Krishna has
100%.
100%. All 64 qualities, all in full. Thank you. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also described herein as Vasudevaya Krishnaya. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all Vishnu expansions are his plenary portions or portions of his plenary portions, known as Swamsha and Kala. So God, the original form of God, is Shamsundar Krishna, holding a flute, two arms, peacock feather. And from him, Lord Krishna, he expands. He expands into many expansions. They are all Vasudev Tattva. They are all Vishnu Tattva. They are called Swamsha or Kala. His plenary portions or portions of his plenary portions.
कोई
They're
फ्रेंड से पूछो ना क्या करवाया था कल
all
पूछा नहीं तूने
transcendental. None of them are material. They're all transcendental. So the Swamsha or direct expansion is also called Amsha. All Vishnu Tattvas are Swamsha, direct parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna is known as Vasudev because he appeared in this material world as the son of Vasudev. Similarly, he is known as Devki Nandan, Yashodanandan, Nandanandan, and so on. So these are the names Krishna likes to be called, the names in relation to his devotees, like Partha Sarthi is called, the charioteer of Parth. Krishna likes these names in relation to his devotees. So the Vishnu expansions are also parts and parcels of Krishna, but they are in Vishnu Tattva. They are all God. God is one. God is only one, but he has many forms. But we are part and parcel also, but we are separated parts and parcels. We are not direct part and parcels. We are separated. That's why we come in the category of energy, not energetic. We are the Tatashta Shakti. We come in the category of the energy. Again and again, the Lord is very much interested in increasing the influence of his devotees. Therefore, he is described herein as Prabhave Sarva Sattvatam. The Sattvat community is a community of Vaishnavas, pure devotees of the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has unlimited powers, and he wants to see that his devotees are also entrusted with unlimited powers. Therefore, a devotee of the Lord is always distinguished from all other living entities. We have been hearing. Does anyone remember how the devotee has also been given so many powers? Like God gives his devotees. Yes. Any examples anyone can remember? What comes to my mind is Prahlad Maharaj. He's being given poison food and offers to Krishna, and then, and then he's being thrown from the mountain. He's been poked with all these sharp tridents. Nothing happens to him because God is giving him these powers, unlimited powers. The word Hari means one who takes away all miserable conditions, and Hari Medase means that the Lord is always planning to deliver the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. So Krishna is called Hari, one who takes away all miserable conditions. Hari, taking away miserable condition, and Hari Medase, that he's always planning to deliver the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. Yeah, it's true, no? He comes time and time again. He comes himself, or he sends his incarnations, his expansions, or his confidential devotees. Why? To tell us, hey, come back home. Come back home. So the Lord is so kind that he personally incarnates to deliver the conditioned souls. And whenever he comes, he makes his plans. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. Bhagavad Gita 4.8. So Krishna is saying he comes himself. I myself appear millennium after millennium. Yuge yuge. Every millennium he's coming. Why? To re-establish the principle of religion, to annihilate the miscreants, and to protect the devotees. Actually, Krishna, he does not need to come personally to annihilate the miscreants. That can do. He can just simply will it. By material nature, he can just kill the miscreants. But he comes especially to have pastimes with his devotees, because his devotees are waiting for him. Since the Lord delivers all conditioned souls from the clutches of Maya, he is known as Hari Medhas. In the list of incarnations, Krishna is described as the supreme and original personality of Godhead. Ete chamsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Ridayanti Yuge Yuge. Bhagavatam 1.3.28. Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, appears in this material world when the demigods who are devotees of the Lord are disturbed by the demons. So, Ete Chamsa Kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. There are so many incarnations, so many portions of plenary portions. But the original personality of Godhead is Krishna. The original form of God is Krishna. So, and he comes, Krishna comes, and why? To protect the demigods, because they are being disturbed by the demons. The demigods are devotees of Krishna, so Krishna comes to protect his devotees. Nama Kamala Nabhaya.
Kamalaya.
Nama Kamala Maline.
Nama Kamala Malini.
Nama Kamala Padaya.
Nama Kamala Padaya.
Namaste Kamalekshana.
Namaste Kamalekshana.
Dear Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you, because from your abdomen sprouts the lotus flower, the origin of all living entities. You're always decorated with a lotus garland, and your feet resemble the lotus flower with all its fragrance. Your eyes are also like the petals of a lotus flower. Therefore, we always offer our respectful obeisances unto you. The word Kamalanabhaya indicates that Lord Vishnu is the origin of the material creation. From the abdomen of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, a lotus flower sprouts. In Kunti Devi's prayers, there is also a similar verse where she is describing the form of the Lord as lotus, lotus eyes, wearing lotus garland, lotus feet. Lotus Nabhaya, also the navel. So from this navel, Lord Brahma is born. From the abdomen of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, a lotus flower sprouts. Lord Brahma, the first creature of the universe, is born from this lotus flower. And subsequently, Lord Brahma creates the whole universe. The origin of all creation is therefore Lord Vishnu, and the origin of all the Vishnu Tattvas is Lord Krishna. So Vishnu he exists before the creation. Like we heard in Bhagavatam, Mahavishnu is lying down, and from his body is coming universes. He's entering into the universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu, entering into every atom of the universe as Shirodakshay Vishnu. And where is Lord Vishnu coming from? He's coming from Lord Krishna. The origin of all the Vishnu Tattvas is Lord Krishna. Consequently, Krishna is the origin of everything. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam, says Lord Brahma. He says, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is the original, primeval Lord. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo ata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma bodha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So nobody can say this except Krishna. Even Lord Shiva can't say this. Lord Brahma can't say this. Why? Because they are not the source of the spiritual and material world. Only Krishna is. So that's why he's saying such things. The material world is coming from Krishna. The spiritual world is coming from him. Everything is coming from him. And so Krishna is saying, one who knows this is wise. And once one understands this, then he engages in devotional service. Lord Krishna says, I'm the origin of everything. Therefore, whatever we see emanates from him. So we may think, oh, maybe there is something which I have not seen as yet, which does not come from Krishna. Krishna is saying, no, I am the origin of everything. So whether we have seen something or whether we have not seen something, whether we have experienced something or whether we have not experienced something, everything is coming from Krishna. This is also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Asya Yata. The absolute truth is he from whom everything emanates. Janmadi Asya Yata. The absolute truth is he from whom everything emanates. Namak Mala Kenjalka.
Nama Kamala Kanjalka.
Pishan Ga Malavasase.
Ishangalamagavasasi.
Sarvabhuta Nivasaya.
Sarvabhuta Nivasaya.
Namo Yungsmahi Sakshine.
Namo Ayusmahi Sakshini.
Dear Lord, the garment you have put on is yellowish in color, like the saffron of a lotus flower, but it is not made of anything material. Since you live in everyone's heart, you are the direct witness of all the activities of all living entities. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you again and again. In this verse, the dress of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his all-pervasive nature are described. The Lord puts on a dress that is yellow, but such a garment is never to be considered material. The garments of the Lord are also the Lord. They are non-different from the Lord because they are spiritual in nature. So, we wear clothes. So we may think, okay, our cloth is made of maybe cotton or polyester or rayon or something. So we may think, yeah, or silk. So we may think, okay, Krishna's garment is also like that. But Krishna's dhoti is spiritual. Satchidananda is also Satchidananda. Like Krishna's ornaments. Balaramji becomes Krishna's ornaments. The word Sarva Bhuta Nivasaya further clarifies how Lord Vishnu lives in everyone's heart and acts as the direct witness of all the activities of the conditioned soul. So the Paramatma is in everyone's heart. It's not that he's in the heart of only human beings or only of people belonging to a particular planet or a particular community. No, he's in the heart of all living entities. What is he doing? He's witnessing. He's witnessing our activities. And within this material world, the conditioned soul has desires and acts in accordance with these desires. So the Lord also helps to fulfill our desires. So he acts as a witness, as the overseer of our activities. Also, he fulfills our desires. All these acts are observed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Sarvasya chaham pridisani vishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So Krishna is saying he's there in everyone's heart. He's there in our heart. And Krishna is the one who's giving us remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. The Lord is present in everyone's heart, and he gives the living entity intelligence. According to the desires of the living entity, the Lord makes him remember or forget. If the living entity is demoniac and wants to forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord gives him the intelligence to be able to forget the Supreme Lord forever. Similarly, when a devotee wants to serve the Supreme Lord, the Lord as Paramatma gives the devotee the intelligence to make progress in devotional service. As we hear in chapter 10, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. So Krishna gives the devotee the intelligence. If one wants to remember Krishna, Krishna gives that remembrance. If one wants to forget Krishna, Krishna gives that forgetfulness. The Lord directly witnesses our activities and experiences our desires. The Supreme Lord gives us the facilities to act in the way we wish. So this is the independence that we have, that Krishna gives us. Krishna is supremely independent, we are minutely independent. Not sure if we can finish this one. Rupam Bhagavata Tva Etad
Bhagavata Gita to Etad
Ashesha Klesha Sankshayam
Ashesha Klesha Sanshayam
Avishkritam Na Klishitanam
Avishkritam Na Klishtanam
Kim Anyad Anukampitam.
Kim Anyad Anukampitam.
Dear Lord, we conditioned souls are always covered by ignorance in the bodily conception of life. We therefore always prefer the miserable conditions of material existence. To deliver us from these miserable conditions, you have advented yourself in this transcendental form. This is evidence of your unlimited costless mercy upon those of us who are suffering in this way. Then what to speak of the devotees to whom you are always so favorably disposed? When the Lord appears in his original form, he acts to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants. Bhagavad Gita 4.8. Although he annihilates the demons, he nonetheless benefits them. It is said that all the living entities who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original constitutional position, Swarup, because they had the chance to see Krishna face to face, riding in the chariot of Arjuna. So this is how Krishna is. Those who get killed also by him, they get their original position. Well, the demons, they get the liberation, the Sayujya Mukti, like Shishupal. But here, what the reference is being given is on Kurukshetra battlefield, those who saw him, those who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they got their own Swarup. Each of us have our own Swarup. Every soul has its own rup, swarup it's called, own form. Every spirit soul has its own form. That's our original form. And all these people who died on the Kurukshetra battlefield have gotten their own original form. Why? Because they saw Krishna. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, superficially, two things were going on. The demons were being killed and the devotee Arjuna was being protected. However, the results were the same for everyone. Thus it is said that the appearance of the Lord diminishes all kinds of miserable conditions caused by material existence. So superficially one may think Krishna is protecting one and he's killing another. But the result is the same. Everyone is going back to Godhead. It is clearly stated in this verse that this form, Ashesha Klesha Sankshayam, is meant to diminish all the miserable conditions experienced in life, not only by the devotees, but by all others. Avishkritam na klishtanam. The Pracetās identify themselves as common men. Kim anyat anukampitam. The devotees are always favorably accepted by the Lord. The Lord shows all mercy not only to conditioned souls, but also to the devotees who are already liberated due to their devotional service. So Krishna is all kind, Krishna is all compassionate to everyone. To the devotees, he is very compassionate, very kind, and he is also kind and compassionate to us, the conditioned souls. The form of the Lord as worshipped in the temples is called Archa Vigraha or Archa Avatar, the worshipable form, the deity incarnation. This facility is offered to neophyte devotees so that they can see the real form of the Lord face to face and offer their respectful obeisances and sacrifices in the form of Archa. So the deity in the temple is called Archa Vigraha. When we can approach the Lord in this form. Otherwise, how can we see the Lord? With our material senses, how can we see? So the Lord kindly takes on a form that we can see. And he accepts our service, our devotion. Through such facilities, the neophytes gradually invoke their original Krishna consciousness. Deity worship in the form of temple worship is the most valuable benediction given by the Lord to beginners. All neophytes must therefore engage in the worship of the Lord by keeping the Archa Vigraha, Archa Avatar at home or in the temple. Because this is how we can worship the Lord. The deity is the Lord himself. We can offer flowers, we can offer fruit, we can offer prayers, we can offer obeisances. We can dress the deities. And Krishna accepts all these services. So, did anyone want to add anything or comment anything? So we can understand that Krishna, he takes away everyone's suffering and gives happiness to everyone. He's the reservoir of all happiness. He takes away our miseries, our sinful reactions, and give us happiness. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.